welcome to Tea Time with me, S.A. Crow, author, writing coach, writing group owner, uh, caregiver full time, you name it. It is a beautiful day in North Texas today, so we've got the door open, and of course, puppies are standing in the doorway. Jen is taking a break from trying to construct her new chair. New chair came in today. And today's tea is iced wine tea from Canada. And it's really lovely. Hi, Angela B. It's good to see you. What's everybody drinking today? Was your weekend? Mine was kind of laid back a little bit. We had a fun retreat. The writing group On the Wings for Writers has a writing retreat the first weekend of every month. And we were in Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, and we had a really good time, and I can't wait to see where they go next. So excited. And then I did a lot of self-care on Sunday. Hello, Tara. Tara? Right, Sarah? Yeah. What are you drinking today? How's your weekend? I am drinking Canadian ice wine tea. This is a black tea. Hold on, let me get to the English side, not the French side. Black tea, natural flavors, and ice wine. So, nice. Yeah, Jen got it as a sampler, so she bought this from Amazon. I just finished a cinnamon coffee. Ooh. Had a foodie sleepover at my family's, which was wonderful. Oh, that's cool. Hello, Angela S. What are you drinking today? I just had some lunch, leftover quiche, which I made this weekend. Ooh, I love quiche. I've got some water, my blanket, and a candle going. Ooh, very higa. Very, very cozy. Very cozy. I have my big tumbler of water over here. This month, I am working on the writing group's charity cookbook for this year. So I made a mock-up of the recipes so I know what we've got going on. So I've been doing that. I get to color on my project coloring page. I made one of these for last month and this month, and I think I'm going to bring them into the new year. But it's a doodle color page, so you pick a project that you're working on for the month, and every day that you actually work on that project, you get to color in a doodle. Iced latte with oat milk. Recipe books are always fun, though I've never made one for sale. This is our second. Our first cookbook, the charity was Feeding America. This one will be Meals on Wheels America. So we take recipes from our authors that they have tweaked or created themselves, and then we pick the charity that it's going to go to and benefit, and yeah. It does sound delicious, doesn't it? Okay, so about midway through, about 11:20, unless we get to really talking, I'm going to start reading for the next chapter from my book, Into the Fire, which is the first book in the Fire series. So I am here for author questions about what I'm working on, questions about the writing group, our writing coaching. Today's topic is letting go, and I picked that because one, that's the attracting abundance card I picked today, but also because a lot of times after NaNoWriMo or at the end of the year, we're revising and looking at what we got done and what we were able to achieve this year. And sometimes we hold regrets of things that we didn't get to do, or maybe we didn't win Nano, or things like that. So what do you need to let go of today? Ooh, cinnamon coffee does sound delicious too. Yes, it does. So what regrets or disappointments do you need to let go of from your writing career this year? Whether it's like I didn't finish Nano, but I'm okay with that because I have notes, and that will be revision me's problem when it's revision time for this book. But I enjoyed the experience and helped encourage others, so it was a win. But I do have some regrets this year. I didn't do as great of a job at keeping track of our book club books, and we were scrambling to try to find as many of them as we had. We think we finally found them all. I didn't do as good of a job at keeping track of, I can see that now I need to keep better track of the recipes and who won and things like that, and have it at one location, maybe two, maybe on hard copy and on computer. So yeah. Regrets. Though it was the right decision, I did not spend Nano finishing my book. I used it to finish reports that were all due by the end of November. That I can see where, yeah, it was the right decision. But yeah, some people, would see it as, oh, not your book, but they were important to you. It was something you were doing and they needed to be done. So maybe trying to, look at the bright side of some of those regrets or disappointments and saying, it was okay. I didn't finish 2 drafts this year. I worked on Love Rules, which is a standalone. It's my first reverse harem, and I didn't finish it, drafting it. So that's revision me's problem next month. I didn't finish drafting book 4, the Fire series, but the book was dealing with grief, and I've been sort of dealing with grief. So it didn't help that in November I was doing my dad's internment at the military cemetery. So that was kind of, it brought up those feelings of grief. I regret not finishing the rough drafts of my entire YA series. Oh, but you can. There's time, make a schedule. I like to schedule my writing year out. It's probably the first thing I schedule out every year is my writing plan for the year and what's going to get published, what are the next things down the pike, what stage everything is at, and it's the first thing I plan for my writing year. And yeah, just make sure that those rough drafts are in there, or just like I do, that's revision me's problem. Hi, Cool Gamer. It's good to see you. What are you drinking today? I am drinking Canadian ice white tea. My dog is attacking a bug. Ew. Oh, thank you. He passed several years ago, but I don't know why I put off getting his interment done. But I sort of did, I guess, because he passed away, and then it wasn't very long after that I left my ex, and I didn't know what was going to happen to me. I didn't know where I was going to go. Luckily, I came to the best family ever, and they have been my forever family since. But then I had to go through the process of legally getting separated and trying to get a divorce, which he made difficult. So, yeah, I wasn't really in a steady place yet. And I just kind of kept putting it off, thinking, oh, this is too much trouble. Oh, this is going to, I don't even know how to start this problem yet. And this year I decided, okay, look, there's some big things on your list in the back of your head that you really need to tackle. and one of them was getting dad interned at the National Cemetery. So looked it up, made a phone call. A very wonderful gentleman was on the phone with me, and he helped me walk me through the process. We got it handled, we got it scheduled, went there on the day with him, and yeah, I was doing okay until they played taps, and then I lost it a little bit. But I'm happy that he's there with his brothers and sisters, and um, that served his military family. And so I'm glad. I'm glad. And it's here in the DFW area. He grew up here. He passed away here in North Texas, so I can't really see anywhere else that he would want to be. And luckily it was all handled. Really, I didn't have to pay anything. So that was a bonus because I was worried about what I would have to pay. But yeah, they were very lovely, and I need to go out there and check and see the plaque when they put it out. So I'm very excited. So yeah, that brought up a lot of grief because my brother passed away in 21, so last year. And we didn't have an event for it. We didn't have a funeral. We didn't have anything for him. And he's my half brother, and he passed away in California. And there was no service, no nothing. And I recently, like in November, got a memorial card. And not from my mom, but from my uncle. And I was like, wow, this doesn't help when I'm dealing with a book where a person's lost her sister, the guy's lost his high school sweetheart, the son has lost his mother. He watched her, waste away for 2 years. And so it was just like, ugh. So I got to a certain point, I was like, okay, we're just going to put in notes. I just started copying and pasting in notes of scene locations, physical motivations, mental motivations, what was kind of happening. And I made it to 30K. So, revision me won't have nearly as much problem as if I didn't do it at all. But yeah, I didn't get as much prose done on that draft as I would have liked. Usually I can pop out a draft in less than a month. A first draft, rough draft, because I outlined first. But it took a while, and I just kept hitting grief wall. This is really good tea. But that's okay. I'm looking forward to next year. Looking for plan with me videos. Those are new. Really enjoyed planning December with everybody. And I'm looking forward to planning Q1 in January with everyone at the end of December. And every month, at the end of the month, I'm going to do a plan with me video. And some of those may be quarter videos, but using my planners, I'm going to show how to plan your writing year. Keep track of it. If you're trying to blog, I have a blogging planner. And if you are a pagan author, I have a pagan planner and journal. And I'm taking input. I'm thinking about doing a self-care author planner. Just putting that out there for some feedback. If you guys would like a self-care author planner to help you with distinctive self-care for that authors need during the year, and how to make self-care a priority. Or I might add it as a part of another planner. I don't know yet. I'm not sure. So waiting for feedback on that. If you are watching the playback and you think that's a cool idea, just pop me a comment in the doobly-doo below, quoting John Green. Oh my gosh. So those are kind of some of my regrets and my disappointments for the year. But I know next year is going to be I have a solid plan for next year, and I get to publish a new book. So yay. I'll be publishing a book hopefully at the end of this month, the cookbook, if not early in January. Already made some social media art for it. We have a cover. Speaking of, I will share the cover with you all. So this is the cover for Raven's Cookbook 2. I have so many planners in my house that I started and left. My goal is to start using one in January and continue with it. That is a good goal. I made that goal in 2020 to use a bullet journal for the full year, and I was able to do it. I really enjoyed it, but spending that much money on 2 bullet journals, I just couldn't foresee it. And I found Notion, and I've used Notion all year. I use it every day. And it's my hub of keeping track of everything that's going on. Without it, I would be lost. Luckily, I have availability of it on my tablet, on my phone, and on my computer. So, woo! Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the cover. I shared the social media art in the Discord for the writing group. I'm probably going to do that on the Facebook too, so people can share it out. But yeah, so excited. We've got some really good recipes this year. So for January, the winner was the taco bake. February was Santa Fe stew by Jen. March was French dip meatballs. April was lasagna cupcakes, Jen. May was breakfast casserole bake by Brandy. We didn't get a recipe for June, so we'll have to be fitting one in. July was blueberry chocolate smoothie. August was meatballs and noodles by Brandy. September was Carbolicious casserole by Rachel D. October was easy sliders by Rachel D. November was friendly brownies. And we have one recipe in for vote right now. Hopefully we will get some more, but I'm super excited. That is coming together. Now I just need to ask some questions about those recipes. Get a little background stuff, a little bit about the authors. I'm going to make this even better this year. Can't wait. But yeah, the first one, if you buy the first one, the proceeds will still go to that charity. And if you buy the new one, the proceeds will go to the new charity. So all the proceeds go. I know. I can't wait. I always get excited about a project, starting a new project, and I get to tick off the check boxes. That's my dopamine. My dopamine doesn't come from social media. It comes from check boxes because I have 50 million lists in my head. Thank goodness I have a second brain. Oh, hi. Okay, you're going to have to help me with what you would like to be called. Sitharos? Ross? Sith? You let me know. But hi, it's good to see you. All right, are we ready to listen to the next chapter of Into the Fire? I can find my thing. Sitharos. Okay. Oh, okay. I got you. All right. Here we go. Into the Fire is the first book in the book series, the Fire series. and it's a romantic suspense series. The first book is Travis and Raven, and Travis is a singer-songwriter um, and actor. Raven is a personal chef, and we are on chapter 13, which is Raven's chapter. If you would like to hear the previous chapters, take a look in my videos for all the tea times, and I will probably put those in a playlist. I need to do that. I will work on that today. Put all of the tea times in a playlist so you can get all of the Into the Fire previous. Okay. Chapter 13, Raven. AC/DC's Hell's Bells rings out from my phone at 5 in the morning. I hate the fact that it woke me from a dream about Travis. Reminding myself that I didn't need to be dreaming about my boss in the first place, I reached for the phone. Swiping the call button, I put the phone to my ear. Hello, Mother. How was your flight? Clearing the husky sleepiness out of my voice. Horrible. You need to come and pick us up at the airport and take us to the hotel. I'll send a car service for you, Mom. What gate are you at? You didn't keep me in the know on your flight information, and it won't be safe for me to drive right now. Text me your location. I'll see you this afternoon for lunch. Without giving her a chance to protest, I hang up the phone. Pulling up the application for the car service, I put in what she sends me. Knowing that going back to sleep is nigh on impossible, I decide to use the quiet time to work on some of the recipes giving me issues for the cookbook. Grabbing a pair of yoga pants and an old college t-shirt from the drawer, I get dressed and head to the kitchen with my recipe notes in hand. I lose myself in preparing the ingredients, chopping 70% dark chocolate, dicing shallots, pulling out spices, and checking on the status of the breadcrumbs in the oven. Should I leave the chicken thighs whole, or maybe cube them for a kebab-style preparation? Choosing to cube them. I go out to start the grill after taking the breadcrumbs out of the oven to cool, planning to use a processor to make them even smaller. The alarm set for 7 a.m. goes off as I'm starting the sauce for the chicken. I turn the burner down to sweat the shallots and move over to the coffee maker, starting it in anticipation for the guys coming down soon. Putting another pan of water on the stove to boil and the skillet on medium heat to toast the spices, the smell of coffee quickly adds its perfume to the rich scent of Indian spices and dark chocolate. The combination starts my mind turning with the ingredients. Maybe the lack of acid is the problem with this dish. Turning the water down to a simmer, I cover the spice sauce pot with a small glass bowl. Once I have the whole spices toasted, I use a spice grinder to create a flavorful powder. Once finished, I move over to the coffee pot and pour a small cup of coffee, then pull a small can of instant coffee from the cabinet above me. Placing the can nearby, I add the dark chocolate to the glass bowl over the simmering water, slowly stirring the chunks to melt in evenly. As it melts, I add the ground spices, instant coffee, and dark chocolate powder that hasn't been Dutch processed. Dutching cocoa is a process where they treat it with an alkaline agent to modify the color and change the taste to a milder taste than natural cocoa. I want the intense flavor of natural cocoa for this dish. Grabbing the small cup of coffee I poured a moment ago, I slowly incorporate it into a more viscous liquid of the chocolate sauce. I'm so focused on the task at hand that I haven't noticed my rapt audience until I look up from adding the steps in the process and amounts of liquid coffee to my notes, realizing that I had been angrily mumbling to myself the entire time. Morning, Tony says with a bemused smile. That smells amazing, Travis says in greeting. I think I might have cracked this dish. We'll know soon. Coffee is ready. I motion with my arm at the coffee maker. Travis gets up and prepares a cup for himself and Tony before placing a cup beside me with the right amount of sugar and creamer. I'm impressed. Wow, he knows how I like my coffee. Stop it, I admonish myself. Thank you, I whisper almost reverently, momentarily blown away by the act of kindness and care. and certainly isn't helping my resolve not to think about Travis in a romantic fashion. Narrowing my eyes, I go back to the sauce for the chicken. When the sauce is the right consistency, I add the shallots, remove it from the top of the simmering water, and cover the bowl with plastic wrap, placing a kitchen towel over and around it to maintain some of the heat. Pulling out the tray of chicken from the fridge, I take it over to the kitchen sink where I have been soaking wooden skewers in water in preparation for grilling the chicken. I line up the chicken cubes on the tray in the appropriate amount for each skewer, placing my hand on the top of the chicken cubes to hold them in place with the other hand. I fish a wet skewer and slide it into the chicken with a flourish. I hadn't thought of doing it that way. I would have placed each cube on it one at a time. You should add that technique to the book. That's awesome. Travis's voice brings me back into reality in my audience. It's funny how I can forget the world around me if I'm in the zone. Thank you, I will. I hadn't thought about it before. I turn to look at them both. They should have moved on to do other things already, but instead are watching me. I keep preparing the chicken and skewers until all the chicken is ready. When finished, I move the tray over to the island and next to the chocolate sauce and look at both, trying to calculate getting both items out to the grill by myself when Travis's voice breaks into my thoughts again. Do you need a hand? Yes, please. I smile up at him, managing to hold all 3 cups of coffee at once. Tony holds open the back door open for us. Travis grabs the tray of chicken, and I pick up the wrapped bowl of chocolate sauce and a baster brush. My eyes are blinded by the cool, bright light after the warm, golden light of the kitchen. Settling the tray down on the counter of the outdoor kitchen, Travis asks, "What kind of salt do you use?" I tell him it was kosher, and we end up talking about the thought process that led to that choice. In short, it all adds up to the need for salt size smaller than rock, but not quite as fine as table salt. I brush the sauce on the chicken, then lay the skewers on the grill as I talk. Travis and Tony move over to the deck chairs to enjoy the cool morning and watch my process. I never considered that I was this entertaining. Maybe I should try out for my own cooking show, I joke, motioning to the 2 of them, where they lean forward with great interest. I would watch it, they both say in unison. I shake my head at them and baste the chicken after turning the kebabs. When the chicken finishes, I bring it in with the help of my audience, put it in the oven on warm, and start a pot of rice and steamed vegetables. It'll make a great lunch for the guys while I'm out visiting my mother. A cloud covers the sun, darkening the kitchen along with my thoughts at the moment, as if the heavens agree with my mood. When the timer dings, I plate up dishes for both Travis and Tony, trying a piece of chicken myself and thinking about it critically. It isn't bad, but I don't trust my own thoughts at the moment. I'm going to be out visiting with my mother today. Do you mind giving me some feedback on the dish tonight over dinner? I ask them. Sure thing, Travis nods. Be safe, Tony advises. I thank them both and head out to change and order a car to pick me up and drive me to my mother's hotel. Hyatt Place, Seattle downtown. Traffic is at its normal snail's pace as the driver tells me he'd be happy to wait and take us to our lunch stop, Soup Daddy Soups, in the industrial district. The concierge calls up to my mother's room, telling her she has a guest waiting. She comes down all smiles until she catches a glimpse of me waiting at the desk. Tea time, hold on. Hello, daughter. Mom, I have a car waiting to take us to lunch. How was your flight? It was fine. It would have been better to have the first person my future husband met to be my daughter, but no, you couldn't be bothered to pick us up. Mom, aside from the fact that you know I don't even so much as own a car, the airport isn't exactly nearby for me. Getting anywhere quickly at that hour would be impossible from that distance, so it's faster to send someone closer to you. I offer my arm to lead her out of the hotel lobby and out to the waiting car. She takes my arm and remains silent until I climb into the passenger side of the car after her. How do you live in this city without a car? Simply and cheaply. I laugh as the driver nods in agreement. I don't understand you, she shakes her head in exasperation as the driver pulls away from the curb. During our outing, I ask the required questions that will give my mother the chance to talk about herself, her relationships, and her problems. I realized long ago this was all I needed to do in order to have a pleasant-ish encounter with my mother. As I finish up my summer vegetable soup with barley, I reach for my phone to pull up the driver application. Am I boring you? She slams her spoon down on the table, drops of tomato soup splattering the tabletop. I'm calling us a ride back to the hotel, I answer calmly, reaching for a napkin from the dispenser on the table to clean up the mess. So you weren't even going to ask me if I wanted to go back to the hotel yet, she rages, making heads turn as her voice rises above conversational level. In the act of reaching for a napkin, I stop, take a deep, calming breath before meeting her angry gaze square with my own. Mom, you have two choices in how this encounter is going to go. One choice will lead to a calm conversation as we wait for the driver and a happy goodbye at the hotel. The other choice will lead to me leaving you here to deal with your own affairs, and we can consider our time for visiting at an end in all respects. I'm no longer going to take this kind of abuse from anyone, much less someone who should love me and want to have a relationship with me. I demand the same respect that I've given you all these years, but you have the freedom to choose whether or not you give it to me. She crosses her arms and exhales a huff. These are the telltale signs of the start of a session of silent treatment. I decide I can tolerate this for a time until it'll take to drop her off. I've been reading up on narcissistic parents and techniques to deal with their behavior. I wasn't sure if I could make myself mirror her behavior, but I could start standing up for myself and believing in the rightness of my cause. She's silent all the way to the hotel. I asked the driver if he can please wait for me for just a moment, getting out and wishing her a good end to her visit, then turn and get right back into the car. As the week moves on, Travis seems like his normal self. Then there are moments where he acts more like a sullen teenager than a grown man, and I don't see him for hours. I spend my time trying out recipes for my cookbook and preparing for the birthday party Travis is putting on for Steve. The hardest part about standing up for myself at our lunch is receiving narcissistic rage voicemails from my mother for 3 days in a row after we parted ways. Things haven't changed between us, and they probably never will. What has changed is how much I let her opinion matter to me or influence my behavior. I slip up sometimes, and the urge to appease her is almost overwhelming. Saturday is here before I know it. Steve shows up at the house hours before his party to help out. It's a beautiful, clear summer day. I'm in bliss working on drink mixers and snack mixes for the drink station as Travis and Steve say hello, slapping each other's backs. They talk about music and what Travis has been working on all week while he's a prisoner in his own home. I continue to work as the house fills with guests, some of whom I know and others altogether new to me. I remain unconcerned, trusting Tony and his checks and rechecks on our safety. Amanda's outfit is stunning. A white one piece with black accents paired with black stilettos and a matching clutch. She has an air of someone who's here to work, not to party. She shows Travis mock ups for concert posters, talks to Mike about the roadies and their responsibilities, and Steve gets cornered to talk about the tour buses. The party begins to trickle down to a handful of people around 11 that night. I'm circling the house with a tray of little bites to offer guests when I find the guys downstairs in the game room. Some are playing pool while others sit around talking. I wasn't listening closely until I noticed Travis's body language. His shoulders are tight and his breathing is shallow as he gestures at Steve aggressively. What gives you the idea that I'm even remotely interested in Raven? Travis accused Steve in the room at large. I don't see why not. She's bright, kind, warm, stable, an amazingly talented person, and an independent woman. What you don't need is another clingy starlet like Jessica, Steve fires back just as heatedly. I love that I did the little head. She makes lists. She likes routine. That is not me. Amanda even mentioned that she thinks Raven could be my stalker trying to gain attention. What if Amanda's right? Travis gestures with his pull cue at Steve. I'll not make the same mistake of having a relationship with someone I work with again. Part of me wants to turn around and pretend I haven't heard any of what he said, but I'm done letting what people say about me or to me or about me affect who I am or what I do. I walk into the room and place the tray of drinks down in the middle of the table. I smile at Steve, wish him another happy birthday, and turn on my heel and walk out of the room. I keep walking until I reach my room and strip off my clothes and get into the shower. As the water pelts me, what are my options now? I think working for Travis isn't acceptable anymore unless I confront him about this. I could call Cole at CFX and see if the job he offered me at the convention is still open. If not, I'll advertise my personal chef services and see what comes out of it. Feeling better, having a few plans, I play out a way to confront Travis to see if he believes Amanda and her suspicions about me or not. Can I work for someone who would believe I would stalk someone? Tony knocks on my door a few hours later, his expression grave. What is it, Tony? I'm not exactly good company right now. Raven, did you see anyone at the party head upstairs today? No. What is it? What happened? My eyes pop wide suddenly. I'm apprehensive something has gone wrong. The panic makes my anger fly from my mind as I switch into a crisis control mode. Somehow Travis' stalker got into the house and left a present for Travis in his bed. He relates what they found in Travis's room. A bloodied kitchen knife with a red ribbon tied around the handle laying on Travis's pillow. The blood turned out to be red paint, but it was a bit of a shock at first. There were so many people at the party, Tony. I can't remember anyone being upstairs. I understand. He runs his hand through his hair in despair. This is all my fault. I wanted to put cameras around the house. I waited for them to come in the mail, but they didn't ship before the party. I should have put a hold on the party until they came in. What do you need me to do? I hate seeing Tony blaming himself like this. Can you make some coffee? The police will be here soon. It's going to be a late night. Of course. Tea time. Hold on. Okay. The police show up half an hour later. Travis has been camped out at the dining table, and head in his hands. I'm sure it's devastating to feel like your home isn't a safe place, that anyone can enter your space with the potential to hurt you. I bring him a cup of coffee. I'm sure they're going to catch this person and make it all stop soon. You'll have your life back before you know it. I try to console him as I put down his cup of coffee. Thank you, Raven. You're the best, and I need to do a better job at being a better employer. His eyes meet mine, full of sincerity. You're stressed. It's understandable. I cave and let him off the hook a bit. We do need to talk about a few things as soon as we can, though it can wait. He nods and I watch his shoulders slump. Soon, he says softly. The police leave after they take statements and contact information for the guests from the party. I head to my room as Tony finishes locking and securing the house. I pause and watch Travis drag himself up to his room, lonely and defeated. So that was the end of chapter 13. Oh, by the way, they're not sponsoring. I would love a tea sponsor, but no. Hi, Ashley. It's good to see you. All right. So, what do y'all think about chapter 13? That was a lot to go on in there. I have a very happy AJ for some strange reason. She's very happy under my desk. This is one of my puppies, one of my baby girls. I have 2 rescue dogs, if you didn't know. One is AJ. She is a black lab whippet, and she is our alien dog. And then I have a black lab border collie, who is our diva. It was good. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Again, if you have any questions or would like to hear some of the previous chapters, check my my channel. If you want to tell me about what you need to let go of, any regrets or disappointments for the year, add those to the comments too. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed listening. We are working on an audiobook. We are. I have a friend who is a voice actor and opera singer, and she has been my developmental editor for all of these books. And so she is working on doing my audiobook, and we're so excited. We're also working on the developmental edits for book 3, which will be published next year. And that will be Steve and Mallory's story, which I'm so excited about. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Let us know what's inspiring you this week. We would love to hear if you are looking for a writing group and you don't have one right now. Head on over to On the Wings for Writers. And if you're looking for writing coaching or planners, check out my buymeacupofcoffee.com/SACrow. And you can find my workshops, my writing coaching, and my planners there for sale. So, see you soon. If I can find the outro.